So we're back, I think, long time in a while in full squad in DevSecOps talks with Paulina.
Andre.
Yeah. Finally, the gang is back, right?
Yes. Sorry for being out, guys and girls.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I am back.
So
Yeah,
it's not only your fault.
Okay, I've been doing every episode.
You're always there.
But next time I'm gonna be out and you are gonna be by yourself, right? And there is a special episode coming up as well in a couple of weeks. It is
true. It is true. If you've been to the DevSecOps FM or to the podcasting app that you use to download the podcasts and listen to us, you can notice that the last number was 95. This one will be 96, which means that in 4 more episodes, it's going to be number 100. We are planning something special. We probably will let a live audience to join it. We are thinking of bringing Julian back for this episode. If everything goes as it goes, it's going to be end of April, beginning of May. Stay tuned for the actual date. We will be publishing the details on the LinkedIn page of the podcast. So this is where you can find the details.
Yeah. 100 episodes. It's a long time. A lot of episodes.
Yeah.
How long did it take you? 2 years?
More. We started in 2020 when COVID hit.
Okay.
What? Yeah, okay.
That's even longer.
Yeah.
That's a while.
We've been doing it for a while, yes.
Yeah. Before everybody had podcasts, right? Yeah.
All right. So what is it that we're having today?
But going a bit side notes from this, we have quite a few interesting stuff going on in March, especially, and even late 2025 with supply chain attacks, and within others, NPM. I think the newest one is from yesterday, including one from 1st of March. And as we can see that there is more and more importance in it, we want to look into a few cases, recent cases into it, and what actually you can do to try to minimize the attacks coming from this side.
Yeah.
As well.
I think we had an episode, we talked about supply chain many times, right? One is like how when you look at a new package, how you can see, like, what are the things you will look at in a new package to see if it's bad, right? Some hints. And then I think we also had some
tooling around it.
Yeah, tooling around as well. But it's still coming up, right? Still coming up.
When was it? You looked into it?
It was
like a few years back?
Yeah, as we said before, like we had 100 episodes closely, so...
From 2020.
Yeah. So it's some time ago. It's been going on for a long time, right? But it feels like, I don't know if it's AI or something. Are they helping or are they getting kind of worse? I think let's start with the beginning of March with the attack on the Aqua scanner, like the trivial scanner, which is really interesting because they attacked a security scanner.
A security platform that's supposed to be secure. Platform.
Yeah. And I think they had to unpublish the artifacts at all, right? So that was the first one, the big one, I think, right? But that also opened some gates to other exploits on attack as well, right?
Yes.
So it's been a busy week.
I believe there was like a security, the credential stealer that was deployed, and they managed to compromise the credentials and the people who use the scanner, like on the GitHub Actions. It's really like March felt that we are moving with supply chain attacks from theoretical to actual danger zone, and it's feeling like really scary. Because before that, what you had as a supply chain attack, your main concern was that you're going to get something in your application and then it hits production, and that opens the possibility for people to gain access through that. And I think generally there are a lot of platforms that scan your binaries, that the libraries that goes in here. What we're dealing with right now is people targeting developers.
Yeah.
Which means that
I think it changed as well. I mean, we have the scanners and are the gatekeepers, but they are running on the CI/CD like infrastructure, like, and the attacks that are happening now is happening before the code hits the CI/CD pipelines, right?
Yeah, so they shifted left even more right now if it's going to, trying to attack, because you have, on the, usually when you already commit the code or even on the first pipeline or even very often on the later pipeline.
Yeah. So the attack is really better than the security, because we've been talking about security to shift left, like give more security in the beginning of the process, but the attacker are really doing that with great efforts now, attacking early in the process. What a time to
so see. Basically there was a breach. We're bringing it for a reason. So there was a breach of the Aqua security scanner called Trivi. And it actually opened up a possibility for another breach of Light LLM. Light LLM is like a gateway for your models that allows you to choose different providers. And the recent Security Now episode that came out this week, which is like 1072, the number of the episode. Those people were doing podcasting for a long time.
Yeah.
We're approaching the 100. They already did 1,000. So there, Steve Gibson has an amazing breakdown, like very detailed, about how the Light LLM hack came together. But like what you really need to know, like the high level details, there is a trend micro noting. Aqua Security disclosed the incident on March 1st and initiated credential rotation. However, according to Aqua's own post-incident analysis, the rotation wasn't atomic and attackers might have been privy to refresh tokens, which meant that like they did the right thing. They rotated the potentially exposed credentials, but it looks like the attackers might have obtained the credentials that was already rotated, so they got access to the new credentials. And then the Trend Micro article continues. The gap proves decisive. On March 18th, Team PCP used still valid credentials to force push 76 of 77 release tags in the Trivi action repository and all 7 tags, and set up Trivi, the malicious commit containing a multi-stage credential stealer. That's basically allowed them to actually get into the Light LLM. So the Trivi compromise in GitHub Actions gave the attacker the keys to publish arbitrary version of Light LLM to PyPy. Everything that followed was exploitation of that initial foothold. The funny thing is that the Light LLM hack was also, I believe, a credential stealer, but there is people who researched it assume that it was wiped coded because there was a mistake in an implementation of C implementation, which basically made it a fork bomb, and it started to crash computers. Because the way it behaved was the way it was written. So we actually got lucky there. I mean, like it was crashing computers, and people were able to identify that very, very quickly because like the programs were dying with out of memory.
This is interesting. So I mean, what happened was like, I think access token to Trivity Actions was compromised. So they got the access token for Trivi, and with that they can publish in the workflow. They can commit a Trivi scanner with a credential steal in it, which then a lot of companies started using, including then OpenLLM, right? Light LLM, right? and then they get the keys to be able to sign light LLM PyP packages and upload them to Python, and then people, of course, download them. Yeah, it's a long chain. It's a long chain.
It is, but it's quite scary, I would say.
It is. I mean, and probably they have more credentials. I mean, the scan is used in a lot of projects. So I don't know if the full scope has been discovered.
And like we kind of got lucky with it because it was multi-step attack, but there was a mistake in it.
Yeah.
And it was basically stealing the credentials, sage keys, Kubernetes secrets, and stuff like that. And it was downloaded 3.4 million times per day. So that's like a light LLM exposure. So it's downloaded a lot. It's quite often part of the MCP servers, like by UVX, for instance. Like even when you run MCP UVX, you might have like a light LLM included in there. So yes, that was a scary one.
It's also very scary because when we talked about it many years before, we said, okay, this is the things that you can do to prevent the supply chain. Like look at the repository, like is the wording wrong? How many stores do it has? Who's the maintainer? But what we really focused was like if the packages that are official, right, or already maintained by a large crowd, those are safe to use. But we're seeing here is like they're actually going for the maintainer, like, or the signing, and then they can make packages that are infected, but it will look perfectly fine for everybody else. We can't determine, like, a developer can't know that the package has this exploit in it, right?
So they're going also in the process to the left even more. So they're going to the publisher itself. So you don't really see it.
There is another excerpt from the Trend Micro article that I want to quote. And if you want to have a full breakdown, I do recommend checking Security Now because they looked into the same, the Steve Gibson looked into the same articles there that we are quoting from. On March 24th, production system running light LLM started dying, and engineers saw runaway processors, CPU pegged at 100%, containers killed by out-of-memory errors. The stack traces point to the light LLM package, a popular Python package downloaded 3.4 million times per day, that serves a unified gateway to multiple LLM providers. It was compromised on PyPy. Upon analysis, it was found that version 1.82.7 and 1.82.8 contain malicious code that stole cloud credentials, SSH keys, and Kubernetes secrets. Wow. The malicious versions deployed a 3-stage payload, a credential harvester targeting over 50 categories of secrets, a Kubernetes lateral movement toolkit capable of compromising entire clusters, and persistent backdoor providing ongoing remote code execution. The compromise was not an isolated event. It was the latest link in cascading supply chain campaign by a threat actor tracked as Team PCP. This post traces the cascade from its origin, the open source vulnerability scanner Trivi, and then presents our technical analysis of the light LLM payload. The Team PCP orchestrated one of the most sophisticated multi-ecosystem supply chain campaigns publicly documented to date. So, and we only know about it because they had a mistake in it, and it kind of manifested itself by crashing servers. How many of them out there that have not been detected is unclear.
It is. It's worrying. It's also interesting. I don't think. I mean, we have all these like npm proxies and things. Like, remember those that you pull your npm through a proxy and actually scan them? But I don't see them picking this up.
Let's hold remediation steps for a little bit later, because I believe Paulina has another one.
Yeah, so there was another one yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. Yeah, something like that. But again, they went after the maintainer GitHub account. So we go left even more again, what is kind of scary. So the account got taken over. And then 2 new versions got released, and one had additional dependency. They had plain crypto.js, which is remote access tool. And that's one of the dependencies which has around 100 million weekly downloads, so quite broadly used. And one thing they went for latest, and they put additional version in GitHub. So it's in theory, it looked fine on the outside because you couldn't really figure out just by looking into it. And then by using access token, NPM access tokens, then the publisher, when they got to your machine, they install additional dependency, and then they, in theory, got access to your machine remotely. And they also deleted, it was self-destruction, so they kind of deleted their own traces to not being able to be detected that something happened there. And it seems that it came from North Korea. So it's in theory, how to get more money. We don't know what it's about. It's usually about money. And there is no really user interactions was required into it. So package contain post install script in setup.js that ran automatically the moment npm install was completed. So you don't really need the user interactions, pretty much standard steps when you work with it.
Yeah, so it was like Axios package.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we mentioned it because we discussed it before show, but I don't know if we mentioned it on air. But it's axios-http.com. That's a package that is promise-based HTTP client for the browser and Node.js. It's like everywhere. It's very popular. It's used a lot.
Yeah. And I think there were 2 versions which were conflicted with it, 1.14.1 and 0.34. And if we looked how they got detected, it seems that there was new version which didn't have matching release in GitHub. So they couldn't see why there's no release matching it. And then they started looking into it, and then the plain crypto got noticed as a follow-up.
It's clever. But it also had like call home service, right? What it did was in the post install. So when you run npm install, right, you need to know that it's running you can run a bash script in the background, right? And this bash script runs as you as a user, at least, right? It can even run maybe as root. And they use this bash script to call, like, to get a binary, and they had like different versions for Mac, Linux, and Windows. And then they downloaded that, and then they also removed this bash command in the process to remove the evidence. And I think all of this was done before, your npm wasn't even like finished. So you're running like npm install, you're getting your lines with npm installing all your 1.2 million packages. And during that time, this is happening in the background.
Yeah, so they pretty much install itself, give themselves access, and then they delete the traces. So in theory, you shouldn't be able to notice.
Yeah.
From their point of view.
I'm at axios.http.com right now, and there is a running banner of sponsors.
Yeah.
Like 80% of them, for some reason, casinos. Like, and other shady places like buy.funds, casinos again. super luxury rep. Like it's all very weird stuff that it
Wow.
runs there as a sponsors. I'm not sure why they would have all those people in there as a sponsors, like online pokies in Australia, bet pokies, online
Maybe
pokies New
this
Zealand.
maybe
There was
this
like
guy
some
just
Estonian casino.
they just made
And
like a yeah.
on the other page, like who is behind the supply chain attack on Access, is that Google Threat Intelligence Group publicly attributed the Access NPM package compromise to
Yeah.
North Korea Nexus, financially motivated threat actor. And
Yeah, great.
apparently it's not the first time they doing something similar. So
You gotta be
With
careful.
the war in the
Repeating.
Middle East, I guess we're gonna see even more of stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Remediation. What do we do?
Isolate machine, that's one. Usually, if you can, of course.
You mean unplug it from the internet?
Yeah, air gap, and then you print the code, and then
I
you walk
heard
over and
about
scan.
quite well-known case in Denmark where people were actually pulling the plug from the walls in one
Yeah.
of the companies.
That's probably
But
was not.
that's funny
not
with
paid.
when you say Denmark, of course the shipping, like Maersk is Danish, right?
Yeah, that
They
was
got
exactly
hacked.
that.
Yeah, and they got
Exactly,
hacked, and
that's the one.
they survived because they didn't have one computer that was not plugged into. But yeah, as I brought before, like there are a lot of like proxies and things that you can use to pull packages through. I don't think they will pick up this exploit. I might be wrong about this, but I don't think so because they're mostly going for only compromised versions. So like they can do other things with like naming and looking for matching packages. But when actually a package has been targeted and like the contents has been changed, like with the exploit version, they might pick up this post install script because that look kind of weird maybe.
Yeah, so the attack vector is post install scripts. Both npm and PyPy, they have an option of running the post install script. You can configure that. So this is a configurable options to run or not to run post install scripts, and this is one thing people can consider doing as a remediation. That's like the low hanging fruit.
Another thing is like when do you update? Don't run on the latest, get some delay with updating it because sometimes like here, like issue came out within a day. So of course not everything. A lot of threats are detected very late.
Yeah.
But one of the things is to have a small delay and have the sum of the versions, have a pin versions and
pin
have
version.
Pin versions for sure. I also seen a very useful post on LinkedIn, of all places, where the person brought to everyone's attention that at least NPM, I'm not sure about PyPy, at least NPM has an option to exclude, basically you can have a window where you ignore the versions. So you can say, don't install anything that is newer than 7 days. I mean, which is, how do I say that in English correctly? Basically, in a window of last 7 days, don't pick up any version. Only install stuff that is older than 7 days. You can set that to like 1 month, basically. Usually that would give enough notice for people to notice it, and then you probably, because here the danger was that people just pulling latest, and quite often you might just have a down the line dependency, as I mentioned with MCP servers, for example. There, you quite often will use npmx or UVX and just point to the package. It will download the package. That package might have unpinned dependencies. It will pull them as well.
Yeah.
And this is how you get exposed.
Yeah.
So, so configure at least that. That might be a good idea to do.
That's good.
One of the things is also have automatic rotation of all the tokens and passwords and know how to rotate stuff. Because I had a case recently when we had to rotate 500 passwords and tokens, and it was nowhere documented how to do it.
Yeah, I would
and
say
it can take weeks at some point. Especially if you have external dependencies, also not only within your organization, but sometimes you have to share stuff with also external actors.
Yeah, I would go even harder, like, because this is developer like be really strict with the developer that don't have production keys and stuff in your developing environment, right? That has to be strict as well.
Yeah, so basically having stuff on the disk, so those credential stealers will go for the stuff on a disk. So store your SSH key in your Mac enclave. There is I think secretive, the package called. You can also do it store it in 1Password if you have 1Password, and then you're being asked each time someone wants to use your SSH key. Use the temporary credentials for the cloud access instead of static credentials stored in a .aws, like use tools like AWS Vault, similar. Ideally, SSO, so you have
another thing, a lot of companies have Dependabot and similar stuff, which update automatically, dependencies versions set up on automatic without, any review, and they do it on the latest on the dot. We have a new version an hour ago, it's going to come and update it automatically. And again, set a delay or get the review or put some checkers to be able to go over it. Don't just set automatically to put it to the latest all the time.
Yeah, Dependabot is really nice, but that's also coming in like after the attack, right? So that is going to come in when we know the package has been compromised and we have the version, then Dependabot can start working.
This is another vector that people have now. So for instance, if you have any kind of LLM-based code reviewer and you're exposing your repositories to the pull requests and you make your AI-based code reviewer running on those pull requests, it's a very easy way to compromise it by crafting the instruction into the code that will be read by the code reviewer, and then potentially, for instance, if you have a private repository, it will have the GitHub token, not necessarily scoped to this repository where it's running, so it might go around and try to poke other repositories, send them somewhere, stuff like this. So
how are you feeling for like VPNs and stuff? We have that set up as well, right? So some of the script had some call home stuff, right? So it calls command and control server to get data. If you have a VPN solution that are some filtering, you could probably find if the domain is known for hosting bad things. Your VPN will block those things, right? So you won't get access.
I think, but what Matthias means here is advanced DNS filtering. So if you're using the providers like NextDNS, for instance, they would have a list of known malicious actors or something that looks malicious. They can block DNS resolution of those, like Cloudflare Warp, for instance, can do the same. Like if you allow it to decrypt your traffic, and then it could block the known actors. Not every VPN will do that. I just want to point it out because most of the VPNs will just act as a dummy tunnels that have no idea. But if you have the providers that also looking into your traffic, not only providing you the remote exit capability or remote connection to the network, but if there is something else like NextDNS or Cloudflare Warp or other solutions that actually look into your traffic or can influence DNS resolution, so those potentially can block resolution of those.
And they are usually pretty fast as well, right? So if they find something, they can add it to block list, and then your whole company is kind of protected, right? But then, I mean, my favorite one, Pauline, is going back to what you said at the beginning, like isolation. I really like the dev container, with temporary tokens. That's, I think, my best way to go. Because then if something happens, it's isolated in the dev containers. Anything you can get hold on, are only temporary. Like I would be able to just kill a container, and I'm good again, right? So dev containers.
Yes, to that. It makes so much sense nowadays. I mean, like with all the AI coders, I mean, the coding tools that can set up it for you very, very quickly. So there's no excuse.
No.
All the vibe coders coming after the rain with all the security issues. One more thing which I see some people recommend is to go to PNPM so that it disables lifecycle scripts, post install, pre-install, and so on for most critical stuff.
Is that better than the? Because is this only like npm and not pnp? Like, what's the difference between them?
They're package managers. So just
Yeah, the package
different
manager
flavors.
for Node, but do they have different like layers of security built in them?
It appears so.
Yeah, cool.
It's like the same as PEEP and UV, right? So they're pulling the same packages for Python, but from PyPy, for instance.
Yeah.
But they would have a different set of configurations available for it.
Also, some ways I've seen done it, they also do the proxies for the approved versions. So you have the version in your proxy,
Yeah,
your
Artifactory,
Nexus or ECR, wherever you use.
Yeah, and then maybe you can have someone that you sit and approve every version. Like for me it's just like a slow process, and then I mean the person that approves won't know what they're doing. But yeah.
Welcome to big organizations and public sector. They love manual.
It makes sense. Like they look much more, but like if you are in startup and you have a lot of, well, it's not even shadow IT going on.
No,
I wouldn't even call it the shadow IT, but people just grab stuff from the internet and run it.
Yeah.
I mean, like shell to run, like where people just do curl, curl, pipe to bash.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's crazy.
But how
all
many
the startups, all the vibe coders these days, I've seen a lot of people, they don't know what they're doing. They're like, oh, I'm gonna install whatever it is on my machine. I don't gonna containerize anything.
Yeah, but it's so nice. Claude just asked, like, do you want me to fix this? Like, yeah, go ahead. Like, I'm gonna just install this packages. Like, yeah.
Whatever.
Why not, right? And then
full access.
It just runs, right? Yeah. Yeah. Isolation.
All right. Sounds like we're starting to scream at the cloud. But it is becoming dangerous out there, people. So we are moving from the realm of the theoretical targeted attacks into the widespread spraying attacks, like that go after the very popular packages, which might get you affected. Remediations, you heard them. Look if your packet manager allows you to postpone installation of the newest packages, so like ignore the newest version, like so it waits for a couple of days. I know that like the PyPy and NPM, there is a work ongoing for improve security for those package managers, like for signature support and stuff like that. So that would improve it a lot, like if there are at least signatures validations. But it's not there yet. It's very insecure, and unfortunately, there are people in the world who like to ruin stuff for most of the folks. Dev containers, library isolation through the Artifactory Nexus or whatever. What else did we mention? Yeah, don't store your local credentials.
Yeah.
Don't access to prod in the dev environment. And what else? Easy way to be able to rotate it as well in case do it on regular basis. So pretty standard stuff. And as we noticed, we go more left also with attacks, even more left than with the security right now.
Everybody goes left.
Yeah, it's like developers. Now it's not the production that is a target. It's a developer and the developer credentials on the machine. So they can move laterally from there. That's what's the main attack vector right now. Together with phishing. Phishing is called the same word. It's just like people attacking the same road. I mean, like the same vector, but from different directions. Just trying to either compromise open source developers, their accounts, like FBI, like for example, FBI director Gmail account got hacked and published publicly. So, like, I guess other people are vulnerable as well with their Gmail account. So, our episode on passkeys waiting for you.
Yeah. Okay, should we put a stop to this one?
Sounds good.
Soon 100 episode. Back to supply chain. I feel like an old, grumpy guy again. Like, there's no end.
All
wanna
right,
say
people,
something?
stay
Yeah.
safe, and soon, episode number 100.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
You have been listened to DevSecOps Talks with Matthias, Andre, and Paulina. For notes and information, please visit devsecops.fm. Thanks for tuning in.